matter how deep the off shoulder is, a well contoured off shoulder dress will not expose your bust area if it is well contoured. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew an off shoulder with exaggerated sleeve that will not gap at your chest side. You can also decide to style your off shoulder in this way. I also share interesting sewing technique on how you can finish the inner part with lining neatly. If this is something you are interested in, kindly continue watching as we get straight into the video. This is the fabric I'll be using. I went ahead to place it on 2 fold on the by 45 part, and I went ahead to place it on another fold, making it a 4 fold. Next, you must have measured your desired neck depth on your client. Then I'll go ahead to place my tape starting from my desired neck depth. My desired neck depth is 6 inches, but I'll be using 5.5 so that when I'm done sewing, I'm going to have 6 inches. So I'll place my tape on the 5.5 mark, and I'm going to go ahead to measure my half length, which is the full length of this crop top. I'll go ahead and measure extra 1 inches, and this 1 inches will be serving as my lining turn up allowance. And I'll go ahead to cut this out. So this piece will be wide enough for me to be able to cut the back and the front. So we'll be cutting the back part first, and I'm going to be starting from the open angle at this point. So first thing, I'm going to go in at the down part by ½ inches, and this is for zipper tightening. I'm going to connect this all the way to the top part with a slanted line, and I'll cut it out. Then from that slanted line, I'm going to be marking 1 inches following the slanted line, and this will be serving as my zipper allowance. I'll place my tape on my desired neck depth, and I'm going to mark out the bust point so that I will know exactly where to insert my bust measurement. Next, I'm going to be marking a neck width of 5.5 inches. For the armhole depth, you place your tape on your desired neck depth and you use your shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is what you normally use if you are making a dress with shoulder, and that's what I just mark. To know where the armhole curve will stop, I'm going to mark out my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'll add a sewing allowance of 1 inch, and I'll connect it to the armhole depth point, and I'll connect with a curved line to the neck width. On the half length, I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4, add 1 inch for that intake and 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'm going to connect this to the armhole like this. On the back neck, you can decide to leave your back neck like this, but for me, I want it to be a bit deep, and I came down by 2 inches. And I'm going to be connecting it with a partial curve line like this. You can decide to make yours a total V. Before you cut this out, make sure you place your hemming allowance on fold before you go ahead to cut it out. After cutting out the armhole and the side, please notch the side and the armhole so you will not mistake it for the back center or for the neckline. So just notch the armhole and the back side so you do not mistake it for the neckline or for the back center. I'll take out the cutout left from the back, place it on fold. I will mark out the 1 inch for my hemming or my lining turn up on the down part. I'm going to mark out my bust points, placing my tape on my desired neck depth, and I'll go ahead to mark out my under bust as well, and I will connect these lines to the side. Next, I'll mark out my bust band measurement divided by 2 plus ½ of an inch, and I'm going to take a straight rule. I'm going to connect the mark points together. On the bust band line, I'll go in by ½ of an inch to the center and 1 inch to the side. I'll connect it straight up to the under bust line like this, and I'm going to connect it like a pencil to the bust point like this. On the top part, I'll take nothing to the center, but to the side, I'll mark 1.5 inch. I'm going to be connecting this mark like this. Then I'm going to go ahead to blend this point so it is not sharp. On the front center, I'm going to be marking out my desired front neck styling. You can use any styling of your choice. For this, I use a sweetheart neckline. I'll close the top dart so that I will just blend it to know where it touches the side. This is to avoid any shortage when you are joining it. Next, you are going to leave it still closed. You mark out your neck width, and for me, I'm using 5. And I'm going to mark out my bust measurement divided by 4. I will add 1 inch as the intake I'll be using to join this. Then 1 inch as my main sewing allowance. Okay, then on the waist, I mark out my waist measurement divided by 4, 1 inch for the intake to join this, and 1 inch as my sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead to join these points to the top like this. Then I'll go ahead to place my tape on my desired neck depth, and I'll mark out the armhole like I've already explained for the front, connect it to my neck width. Always remember to keep your hemming allowance on fold before you cut it out. For the sleeve, I'm using a length of 12 inches and a width of 23 inches on fold for one sleeve. So I have 2 pieces of this for the both sleeve because I want it to be quite full. To get the armhole on the sleeve, you take the back part and you're going to place the armhole on the ending of the sleeve, the open part like this. You are going to measure 1 inch and you are going to use to fixing your elastic, and you place it on fold like this. Make sure the tip of the back is on the folded tip like this, and make sure the armhole is seated on the open part of the sleeve. You mark it out like this, and you are going to cut this out, and this will be the armhole curve for your sleeve. I went ahead to cut lining for all these pieces. For the length, I make sure that the lining of the length is shorter so that when you place your fabric on it, it will complete the length of the lining. And that's the same thing I did for the other pieces. The lining is shorter on the length part. So I'm going to be joining the front part, fabric to fabric and lining to lining. So I'll go ahead to join it together. So here I am done joining the lining to lining and fabric to fabric. You can see that this is cupping very well even without breast pad. You can decide to pad up yours if you want it to be a padded off-shoulder dress. So I'm going to place the lining right side facing the right side of the fabric, and I'm going to sew the neckline like this. So here I am done sewing the neckline. I went ahead to clip the center like this. Next, I'm going to take the down, place the lining and the fabric equally. I'm going to sew the down, which I have done. When you do this, you notice that it is not equal with the lining. So you're going to adjust your dress and it will complete the length of the lining. So with any still push down, you're going to sew the sides for the both ends. So here I am done sewing the sides on the both sides. So I'm going ahead to turn this to the right part so you can see this is what the neckline look like, this is what the side look like, and this is what the downside look like. This is what the inner part look like. I'll go ahead to iron this up. Next, for the back, you're going to make sure your bust span measurement divided by 2 plus half, and you mark it after your zipper allowance line, and you notch it on the down part like this. This will be for your dart. Then you are going to go up on your fabric by 6 inches, then plus my fold up allowance, I made it 7. Then for the dart intake, I'll be taking half on the both side. So here I am done fixing the dart on the main fabric and on the lining. I'll place the right side of the fabric facing the right side of the lining, and I'll turn the neckline first. After joining the neckline, I went ahead to turn the down part. Now I'll just adjust the fabric to complete the length of the blouse. I'll leave it that way, and I will sew the back center and the side. So here I am done sewing the side and the back center. So I'll go ahead to turn this to the right side. So I'll do the same thing for the second side. I'm going to iron this up. Next, I'll take the sleeve, and I'm going to be making a tiny tube like this, and I'll pass the elastic through for the up part. I'll also make the tiny fold and do the same thing on the down part. Here I am done with it. For the up, I made it 7 inches, and for the down, I made it 1 inch less than my round sleeve circumference. Then I'll go ahead to join the sides together for the both sleeves. So here I am done ironing the upper bodies, and I fixed my zipper, as you can see. So next, I'm going to go ahead to shape the side. So here I am done joining the side with my measurement. So next, you're going to take the sleeve. You're going to place the side of the sleeve on the side of the dress like this, and you're going to sew from the top to the other top like this all the way for the both sleeve. So here I am done fixing the sleeve. Just in case you have any excess, do not shape it out, just split it in, as this would also add extra fullness to the exaggerated sleeve. If you will not want to finish this with lining, you can still go ahead to fold the down part and top stitch it. It will still come out nice. So this is all on the video, and this is me just trying out my top with Snapchat filter. See you in my next video, guys. Bye.